Welcome back to the Tailosive Tech Podcast. 200 episodes, ladies and gentlemen. We have hit this miraculous milestone. How does it feel? Good to have you back, Randy, for one.
Thank you. I don't think we've noticed that much of an absence. Well, we skipped last week. For episode 200, well, the joke's not going to land as hard now because it's got darker because it's pouring right now. But I decided to celebrate by being in my version of the Johnny Ive White room. And have pure
the Ive room,
the Johnny White room. 200. Let's reflect on this really quickly. We started this off as something, as an idea, and over the last years,
to bring together a group of the Avengers Initiative.
I love it. I think about
my Kamala Khan.
We have been doing this for like years. We've gone almost as long. This out of our 200 episodes, we have gone almost as long as some people like in high school, for example. Like people grew up on this show, and I've had somebody tell me that. In the past week or two, they were like, "I've been listening to the show since I was a freshman."
That's true.
They've been with us throughout some of this very informative and life-changing moments of their own in their own lives. And I just really want to say for episode 200 to everyone who's listening, who downloads every week, or who watches us on YouTube, or all of the above. I just want to say thank you, because as much as we've been an impact on you, you guys have been an impact on us. For me personally, you've changed parts of my life, and as a team, as a group here, you guys helped make a lot of this stuff really possible. I would have never thought we'd make it to 200. I didn't think we were going to make it to 100, and I would have never thought we would be there'd be more than 5 people listening. So. Thank you guys. 200 it's a very big It's a big deal.
Right.
I'm very honored, and 200 down and infinity to go. So we're not slowing down.
Infinity to go.
That's a lot of podcasts.
As long as y'all are still listening, we will keep doing this. I'd like to say that thank you for you guys making the time. I know that we were hoping Nick could make it, but he's got a lot of stuff going on at work, so we apologize for that. Last week would have just been me and Mike, which I enjoy. I enjoy our tech chats, Mike, but I didn't want all of the OG crew to miss episode 200.
It's all right,
so
I understand. I'm just the transfer kid in the corner of the classroom that has a weird dice collection and looks at butterflies instead of plays in the playground. I get it.
And owned a pixel at one point, so we have to treat you
it's
like
here
less
too.
of a human being. Get off.
And
Pixel 2
Samsung
for episode 200.
A 7 Edge.
You are the redheaded stepchild.
But no, this panel, you are the redhead.
Pixel 7's great. Because the 2XL is awesome as well. Look at it. It's a penguin.
Disgusting. But yeah, like there's been a lot of people that have come and gone. We've had a lot of guest appearances, and we've had a lot of shows. I remember when we first started doing this, it was just me and Nick. It was Nick's idea from the get-go. So even though he's not here, he's here in spirit, because he's the one who caused all this. He's the one responsible. And it's just been, for me, a great way to stay in touch, not just with... it's really, I feel like this show is not so much about the news.
No.
I've been on other podcasts, and I've seen other shows that talk about, like, at the beginning, that's what we tried to make this show. Like, we would have news that we would highlight and be like, let's talk about this and let's talk about this.
So USB-A.
And it's really, the first one was HDMI 2.1. They first announced that standard, and that's what Nick and I wanted to talk about for the week. And we had a very structured schedule of we got to talk about all these things, but I think it's really turned into a great way for me to keep up with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, your
Randy
structure
and
went
Mike
out
and
the
Nick
window
when he's
the
free.
moment you guys brought me on. I was like, no. We're doing it live.
It did.
We're doing it live. Just
We're doing it live.
Yeah.
I remember your first episode. I think we were talking about HomePods and stuff, and how you were the first like audiophile we had on the show.
Yeah.
And what I love about it, and it's very different. Like it's intentional that we don't do these things live. It's because we want this show to be story driven, like sharing experiences and opinions and recommendations of the people who are present. And it's not that I don't like live streams. I love streaming as much as I can, but they're a different dynamic, and it's more about interacting in real time with the audience. That's how I view streaming, is like people are watching you and they have things to say and you read it and you engage with them. Doing live but ignoring the chat, to me, just doesn't have much purpose, because it's kind of defeating the point of it being live. Is when you were watching a live stream, you're like, oh, this is happening right now.
Right.
I can ask a question or I can make a suggestion and he could see that and act on it. Whereas the podcast is not trying to replicate that. It's trying to be a panel, so I can't do this by myself. A tech podcast with no live chat and with no other people to talk to. That wouldn't really be much of a show. that's basically what a tech video is, and that's why they're so short. But a podcast, we get to go more in depth on subjects, and we all get to share what we think someone should do, or what we think someone should wait for, or how did you feel about this experience. So I apologize if it hasn't always been this way, but we try to get a evenly rounded experience, or evenly rounded discussion from all parties, if at all possible. Sometimes if one person is in the middle of something far more exciting, they may take more of the show. That's natural, but still, like, we want to ask questions and engage each other so that you can figure out, like, a round table discussion. What does Randy feel about this product? What does Mike feel on this? And here's what Drew recommends, or what Drew thinks he should buy. And I think it's that community interaction of just a group of a couple people. There's something very interesting and entertaining about that, and I'm grateful that Nick talked us into doing one, because I was not super into podcasts at first, back when I started doing tech videos, and I was like, it would be cool, but I don't know how to do it. And he paved the way for us, and Randy brought more personality, and Mike brought more personality and experience, and more stories to share. And you guys made the time for this so that people have something to tune into every week. So thank you for listening, of course, but also thank you to the other co-hosts, because there would not be a show without you guys. I could leave, honestly. So
Please
I'm
don't.
going to right now.
No, wait.
No.
Okay, bye, everyone. That's our
But,
episode.
there actually has been. This is the one piece of Tailosive content that actually has continued without me. I'm not on every show. I can say that.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I remember how that's how you wanted.
but the spirit is still there.
Oh yeah, no. Obviously, this is because all right. Now you've given us flowers. Now let me give you flowers. You're the OG Apple Sheep. You know, you were an Apple Sheep before it was cool, and you helped. You helped put things into
Thank you.
context that maybe other people could not have been able to articulate. I know that's what drove Nick, because I've picked his brain so much about it. It made me find that sincere appreciation for you because of your honesty with it. And the community that I would say that we've built around, you know, like, say, our portion of the Tailosive network comes from a very honest place. And it all none of it would be in existence if it wasn't for you, Drew. Like, just your willingness to be honest. And I've always, more than anything else, quality of a video or subject of a video, I've always cared about authenticity. And if there's only one thing I can ever label you as, someone who's very authentic. And for not only as a friend, but as a content creator, and someone who I admire on both fronts, who I respect, look up to, and connected with over the years. So, you know, just as much as it, you know, there wouldn't be the personality. What's the personality if I didn't have the platform to share, you know, those great concepts with, and which was done by your groundwork. So, you know, thank you as well.
Well, thank you. That's too much. I'm going to fast forward all that. We're just going to say Randy said some things and then cut to now.
His internet cut out.
He said something.
Starlink.
Yeah. I guess my 2 cents as kind of the normie or noob to this podcast who comes in sometimes, not really the tech savvy person. I guess I am tech savvy, but not as Apple focused.
You're
as
up and
many
coming.
others.
You're learning a lot.
I'm the guy who came in with like the old pickup truck with a Starlink in the back and a
Powerful
HomePod there. And he's like, "Hey, how's it going? What are you guys doing here?" But at least from what I've observed as someone who initially listened to this podcast, not as long as many of others who have listened to this podcast who are listening right now, I always enjoyed
Halami. He listens to every single episode. And then we'll go back years later and listen to them again.
Shout out to
Tell
that
me in my
guy.
Discord.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But just the amount of not just emotion, but the perspective that you guys bring to each subject, and sometimes thoughts that I wouldn't have ever thought of, even if you locked me in a box with all the different Apple products that they've ever made. I never would have thought,
Only one way to find out.
you know, maybe a stemless design on the AirPods Pro isn't necessarily a bad idea, or it's just trash. Or
No, it's bad.
the specific placement of HomePods in a room might just give you that extra bass or treble that you're looking for in your audio experience for a certain song or anything else like that. Stuff like that is what I appreciate about this podcast. Or even Nick going off on why the touch bar is the best thing ever and he's not going to get anything else unless it has a touch bar. But then a couple months later, something with a touch bar comes out. He's like, nah, I'm not going to touch that. It's like, it's got a touch bar. Nah. Just like not just maybe controversial is not the right word for it, but at least like the, not even hypocritical, but just like the changing of ideas for either a very logical sense or even very emotional sense is something that's very appreciated about this podcast that I've taken away from it. It's not cut and dry. Let's talk about the iPhone's volume button, and not just the volume buttons, but the top volume button, because that one deserves a bunch of airtime for this very reason. Which sometimes you can go off on that, but it's not just news centric. There is news talked about, as you could tell from like the last time I was on here. We talked a lot about the MacBook Pro with the M2 and all that, and what was kind of the controversy around that. But other times it could swing the other way. Like, I don't know, talking about, I got the old iPad Air and it's pretty fun. And
I'm gonna jump in and save you, Mike, because I see you. So yeah, we're doing this long enough. I know when I need to step in and add a comment. I'm gonna save you on something because you brought up something I didn't even really think about, but I think it's true. And you alluded to it. The subjects that we bring up, we've all had our minds changed during the show. We're not, our egos.
Oh, that's true.
Our egos don't get in the way. There's no hill to die on. We've always based this as if we were all not recording in a room together, and how you would talk to your friends. That's what I always wanted to bring to the show, which is why I always leaned into the comedy, because that's just who I am. Why I'm off the wall, and why I lean into that persona, and I do the impersonations, etc. It's how I would do with my friends. We've had minds changed. We've had the silliest of times when there was nothing to talk about. We've had very dead serious conversations, all documented. This people in my life, in my family, IRL friends. What's Randy been up to? I was like, go watch the podcast, because that's about as close as a vlog that you would want to get on a daily, because we find a way to incorporate tech or EVs or our passions, because that's who I am anyway. So it's what I would be talking about regardless. But these episodes, the show just kind of documents the growth as well, because there are things that I thought I knew what I wanted or what I would stand for. My mind has changed, and so we've all grown up. So anyway, okay,
sure,
enough of that.
And I guess
It's a cool.
Go ahead.
maybe moving the conversation forward, as you and Nick talked about HDMI 2.1, Drew, back in the very first episode. I thought it was appropriate, just timing it perfectly, not just with our timelines, but also with Amazon's timelines, that we should talk about HDMI 2.1 again. But not just the cable, but what HDMI 2.1 is in right now, which
Not
you
just
and I
the
are.
men.
But the AirPods
Women.
and the iPads too.
I hate them.
But I guess
You're right.
I'm alluding to that we've been experiencing just recently in the last day or so is we both made the plunge to jump into Apple TV. For you, it's a revisiting.
We plunged. Yes.
It's definitely a plunging experience. With you, it's jumping in again in a way, a slight familiarity with the technology and saying hello to an old friend in a way. For me, it's a whole new experience. I've never experienced tvOS or anything related to Apple and TV besides their streaming service, TV Plus. But yeah, we both got Apple TV with the HDMI 2.1 plug.
That's
I
right.
guess I wanted to kick off and ask, have you used it much in the last, I think, 24 hours since, I guess, you at the time of recording, you did your live stream of unboxing it and plugging it in and checking it out. Have you had any time with it? What does Louise think about it? Is it okay with one AirPod, or not AirPod, HomePod?
HomePod. That's the whole speaker system. It's one AirPod.
One of these.
You just turn it up all the way. Hopefully you can hear it.
like
Yeah,
the big
I
one.
used it a lot. Basically, as soon as the stream ended, I used it exclusively for the rest of the evening. And when she got home, I showed her how it works. She's using it right now as I speak. And I completely can't believe why I got rid of one in the first place. I don't know why I stopped using one. I think it was because the Roku worked pretty well and it was fine and it got the job done. But I think I remember. I don't think I sold my old Apple TV. I had the 4K one. I bought it in 2017, and we had it in this house for a little while. But I think my parents needed one or something, and I was like, we don't really use ours that much because we were using the built-in Roku anyway, because we had the old remote, with the glass and the trackpad and everything. And I remember my wife did not like that remote because it was confusing for her and usually for company if we had over. The trackpad just goes way too fast and then you can't get the clicking right, and people are used to just a normal D-pad. That couldn't be the only remote either. It was not much volume control. There was no power control, no mute button. So we weren't using the Apple TV in the living room because the Roku could be the one remote, and that was my requirement. I need one remote for everything. I can't have multiple remotes on the couch. That's too far for me. So once the new one came out, I really loved the new remote, but I just didn't think that it was worth spending $180 on that remote. Like, tvOS was cool, but I think I underappreciated tvOS for what it was. I mean, what happened to the old one was my parents were moving, and I think they wanted one, so I said, here, we're not using ours, you can take it. So they still have my old one, but maybe we were just budgeting more or saving more or something, but I just didn't think that $180 was worth it for the TV box and the remote. But now that I have it again, maybe it's because it went on sale and Mike hooked me up. So shout out to Mike for picking up a couple Apple TVs on Prime Day. It was like a early
I guess
/ late birthmas.
A quick clarity on that. I was thinking about getting it because I saw it on there for like $108. I'm like, it'd be fun to check this out. And also I'd like to use the HomePods that I bought from you, Drew, more, because all we use them for is music, and that's all they can do because they don't connect to our TV. So I'm like, well, let's get the TV
but they're
box.
right next to your TV.
Yeah, they're right behind it. Like, they're set up, ready to go. They're not maybe the best spacing, which I can get into later, but it's all ready to go. I just need the right hardware for it to connect, and the only hardware that there is for it to connect is the Apple TV box. So I figured, okay, I'll get that. And then what kind of sparked that was you saying that your Roku was having trouble. So I'm like, well, I'm already getting this discount.
It was.
Why not get basically almost a 2-for-1 in a way? Give you that option that you kind of gave me with the HomePods. and we get to at least have some comparison here with our experiences with an old box in a way, but it has better ports than a MacBook Pro somehow, and is more simple looking now. It's more sleek than a MacBook Pro.
It is. Right. In case anyone's wondering why we're suddenly revisiting the Apple TV, it's because Apple had this big sale with it where you could get one. It's too late, the deal's gone. But you could buy an Apple TV and get a $50 gift card, which was basically like almost a third of the value. And then Amazon had them on sale for like almost $100. So I think there was a lot of people who were mildly interested, but took issue with the price that were now interested because, hey, they're on sale and they're discounted a lot. So I don't know why I thought it wasn't worth it, but multitasking is such a big help on tvOS. Like, that's not a thing on Roku's. And in Hawaii, we used a Fire TV, and it was terrible. It was laggy and clunky, and it took forever to load things. And then our Roku started showing signs of age as well. It was not loading content, and just Discovery Plus didn't work at all. The only way I could jerry-rig a way for it to work is if I started watching a show on my phone and then went to continued watching on Discovery. Then 5 times out of 10 it would play. The other 5 times it would just crash and the app would close. And we were like trying to watch a lot of content both on Paramount Plus and on Discovery, and it was like just not working on the Roku. But it wasn't internet because you could open YouTube and that would work. But now that I can just switch between apps and they're already running in the background, that saves so much time, and the content loads instantly. There's no problem playing anything on those services, and the remote is actually good. Like, we're on our second Roku remote because the first one, the volume rocker broke, so I couldn't change the volume. But even with the second one, they have a Netflix button, and they have a Sling TV button, and they have a Hulu button, and we don't have those, and we'll bump them, and it'll activate an app. It takes you out of what you're watching and shoves you to the download Hulu button because we don't have Hulu, so it's like, ugh. So that was annoying. I'm glad those are all gone. And because the HomePod doesn't have Bluetooth, and I don't even know if the TV would connect to it that way, but now that you can automatically set the HomePod to be the speaker for the Apple TV, back in 2018 I had to set it up manually. Now it automatically is connected. It sounds so much better in there. The sound system hits all these frequencies I was never hearing before. And my HomePod was sitting on my desk doing nothing for probably over a year now. So it's refreshing, and it feels good to finally have a use for the HomePod. So now it's getting daily use, whereas before it never got used. It was just sitting around doing nothing. Question, yes.
No, not question, comment.
Randy. Comment.
It's such a weird trade-off, but again, reason why this show exists. I stopped using my Apple TV.
This is perfect.
Just yesterday?
The duality of man.
Just started
When?
yesterday.
When did you stop?
I'm gonna tell you guys something I don't know if I'm supposed to say, but it's only us, right? No one else is listening.
Yeah, no one listens to
It's
this.
only me that listens to this, and I'm on here right now, so.
The other person's Salami, and he's
That's
you know,
us.
Oh, and Halami. So talk to Halami or the
Pings-
Void.
yeah, he pings me on Discord anyways. So
Right.
when I moved, I promise this all makes sense. Okay, when I moved, there was contingencies about buying this property, and in the process of doing it, the contingencies kept changing, but I kept agreeing to them, and then because of maybe us willing to be lenient on things, they were like, "Hey, listen, we can't move our kitchen table. It's this very, very big marble thing, and it's very expensive." I'm like, "What?" And they're like,
This affects the Apple TV.
"I promise. Trust me, it all makes sense."
Hey,
Somehow.
this marble
I'm
table
just trying to visualize.
now has
It
one Apple TV on it.
It all makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
Don't
I'm
interrupt the storytelling. So they said, "Okay, fine, yeah. We can't move this. Do you guys want it?" I was just like, "Yeah, sure. You know, I had well, my Drew, you've definitely been at my old kitchen table. That thing's great, and it's
Yes.
when it's fully expanded out, that's what this marble square is normally." I'm like, "Okay, it's an upgrade. Very expensive." So then I started looking around.
Yes.
As they're we're in the 30-day, limbo period. I'm there for one of the home inspections, and I said, "Hey, can you ask the sellers if they leave their TV wall mount, if they would be willing to leave that behind, because I would like to mount my 55-inch TV to it, and it would be a cleaner setup than me having it on some legs and stuff." He's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll ask." They get back to me a week before we closed, and they said, "Yeah, they said they'll leave it behind." I was like, "Awesome." The day I pick up my keys and I move in, they have a welcome letter for me. And when I start reading it, and the first thing I noticed, besides when we did a walkthrough, is a lot of stuff was still left behind. And the realtor said, "Hey, I'm going to come by and pick up some of these things." Well, in the letter, they talked about how they use this TV and how to use it. I was like, "What?" And they left the TV behind. I was like, "Oh, he needs to unmount the TV, and they're going to take it, but I'm going to have the wall mount still." But the letter's talking about the TV. They left the TV behind. This is an 85-inch Sony TV mounted on my wall.
Oh my god! Is it old? Is it pretty old, or is it?
They bought it when this place was built. I said in the other show, this house is only 7 months old. It is a
Oh, that's right.
It's a
85 inches.
I have an 85-inch Sony. Looked it up on the thing. $4,000.
Whoa! Is it 4K?
Oh man, it's real life. Comes with
Is this real life?
They leave a sound bar, a subwoofer, 2 remotes, one for the sound bar, but it all pairs through Bluetooth, and then they have the 85-inch TV. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So after I
found it.
We call the realtor, and we're like, "Hey, the letter says this. Can you make sure before we start doing anything, can you make sure this is the?" Reach out to the other realtor who represents the sellers, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that they're leaving the TV behind too." Yeah, that looks it. Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
So
is it like HDR? I assume.
Yeah.
XDR.
It's
all the things.
It's all those. It's all those things.
Wow.
I started playing with the interface. I've had an LG TV for many years.
Okay.
I was only familiar with LG, but I started playing around with the Sony one, and it's a smart TV. So then I'm like, let me take a look and whatever. So I just kind of sign in as just to get a feel for the UI, because I too want just one controller for everything. Once you connect the subwoofer and the soundbar to it, it is all wirelessly too. It controls not the TV speakers, but the subwoofer and soundbar. So I had the one TV set up, and then I just kind of just kept using it, and my Apple TV is right over here with my beautiful, $60 remote that I paid extra last year for it. It's all just right here hanging out, and I'm like, man, I really want to use it, but then I'm like, what am I going to do with the 55-inch? Well, I don't know.
Too many TVs. We had this problem too when we moved into this place. We had 3 TVs for this tiny house.
I don't know what to do.
Oh my.
So now I start using Sony's UI for the smart TV, and I don't hate it.
Okay.
Everything that you were complaining about Roku, everything you were complaining about Fire TV, everything loads instantly. And when I hit the home button, it gives me all the apps that I wanted to download, which were all from the Apple TV anyway. And the only thing I'm missing is Photos app and any continuity that's supposed to happen when pairing with the headphones. But the trade-off that I get is that on my home screen, I actually get a cool recommended video that actually works for I do use Netflix and Hulu, Disney, and YouTube. Those are my 4 going back and forth. I'm using AMC to watch Better Call Saul right now, so it gives
the Holy Trinity
right there, ready to go. Some of them I'm not even paying for it, the trials or Apple TV Plus, Paramount Plus. I got a free thing with T-Mobile with them, so they're just
we're not paying for anything either.
Yeah, they're just kind of there, but they recommend like this morning. As we're recording this morning, I turn on the TV, and the first thing it said, because it knows my YouTube, I'm signed into YouTube. It has Marquez's Nothing Phone right there. Do you want to watch it? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? So I put it on. It it tells me like, oh, Taylor Swift Tech is live unboxing an Apple TV, and I'm like, oh, look at that. So, but then also does the same thing for Hulu.
Don't recommend this channel. Hold it down.
No,
Report
dislike.
button.
Nope.
Dislike.
Dislike this. Unsub. Disgusting.
Report this.
Report this for harassment. DCMA takedown of something that's a copyright abuse.
That's right. Your music was playing during that stream.
I'm abused the whole
you
thing.
can do that.
But I started using it as a placeholder when I was watching Kenobi, and then I just liked how it just knew when I turned on the TV, new episode. It was a one-click button, and it worked.
Yeah.
The problem is it's a standalone working thing. When hearing you guys talk about your little thing with it, I like that I had my HomePod minis in my living room and kitchen, and so I had surround sound playing the TV for me. Or when when my wife's doing, sometimes she'll bring her work home, and she goes like, "Can you turn it down?" I'll just put the AirPods in my ears, and I just pair them to my AirPods, and it just works. So I'm watching TV just fine with AirPods. You got spatial audio. And all the cool little knickknacks that come with Apple, I miss. But my goodness, the cleanliness of this new setup I have, I can't say I'll stick with it forever. But my Apple TV is just a 1080p, and to put 1080p.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It's disrespecting.
85-inch 1080p is illegal. I think that's a war crime.
It is.
They will come for you.
I sit in the far back of the house. And I can't really tell, but I can go with my blind eyes. I sit over there. I'm like, but dude, I can't.
It's like 500 feet away.
I can't put 1080p.
It's so clear
on 85 inches. That's so disrespectful.
No.
Yeah.
You can't even watch a 1080p YouTube video. You have to be careful what you queue up.
Which is why I guess I'm
That's
watching.
against the rules.
It is. Maybe that's why I said it here. Watch Marquez. Watch Taylor Swift Tech. Watch Dave 2D. Anybody's who's gonna put higher res, they'll be like, "Yeah, you should watch this one." I'm like, "Oh, that looks pretty good." So, I don't think I'm gonna go back to my Apple TV because it's 1080. You know, if I get a 4K, I'll consider it. But
we can't get everyone on the same Apple TV at the same time. It's not possible.
Maybe
there has to be
I'll
a trade-off.
Put a TV behind me, and I'll work with something off of that. Maybe, but
there you go. Use it as another.
It'd be a great screensaver.
I'm coming for CoffeeZilla in his $1,000 studio or $1 million studio.
Ooh,
I'm gonna
$1 million.
Yeah.
I have the $1,000 studio. Yeah. That's what
I have the $5 studio right now. $5 to paint the wall the way it is right now. So
y'all have studios?
I see. Interesting.
It's interesting hearing that, Randy, because my experience is very much the blending of you two. Because Drew has a little bit of an older TV that has outdated Roku tech. You just got a new TV that's top of the line, amazing 4K, ultra high definition with all the integrated apps in it.
Very expensive TV. Came with a free house.
Yeah.
But the loans are great. I mean, if you want to take 30 years to pay off that TV.
Woo.
The loans are...
Yeah.
But to compare these,
rates.
I'm very much in the middle because I have I think it's a 65-inch Samsung, which has, it sounds like it's got some of the same features that your Sony has, and the UI is not bad, but over the year or so that we've owned it, and I think it's been 2 years now, 2 or 3 years that we've owned it, I've noticed with Samsung TVs, they get slow. They get very slow, and sometimes things don't load correctly. Like sometimes I'd try to queue up Disney Plus, and it would just say troubleshoot or can't open it right now. But then like whenever like you're on that little taskbar on the bottom to click on the app, you can also go up because it has a little submenu, and I'd click on my profile on the Disney Plus app, and which then that would take me into the Disney Plus app on my TV, but clicking the app button on the taskbar or whatever wouldn't, which is a little bit annoying. It's not really like a big deal, but it happens sometimes, and sometimes you just have to like restart the TV by holding down the power button, and that was kind of annoying. So that's kind of what drove me to going to the Apple TV, seeing that the price was going down to $100, I could use my speakers, and it's likely going to work a whole lot better with whatever I want to watch. What's interesting, Drew, about what you said about how everything loads up quickly, mine doesn't with Disney Plus. It does with Netflix and Prime and whatever else we have on there. Everything loaded up quickly, shows all the titles. But whenever I go onto Disney Plus, I don't know whether Disney Plus just isn't that great of a UI or whatever, but it kind of was on the Samsung TV. Anyways, on the Apple TV box, when I load up Disney Plus, it takes roughly a minute or maybe 30 seconds to load up all the different tiles on that screen. Whether like you want to watch all the Thor series or all the kids cartoons or whatever, or you got National Geographic, Marvel, Star Wars, whatever the other one was. Sometimes
I wonder if it's a Starlink thing.
I don't know, but it does.
I wonder if it's internet related.
It doesn't do the same with Prime or Netflix.
Yeah.
Which
No, I understand it's not Starlink itself, but like Disney might compile their content in a way so that it takes longer to display everything. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't have Disney Plus, so I can't test that. But
yeah, possibly. But
all the apps I have load much faster. But our internet usually is pretty quick. So.
But yeah, like I said before, even on the Samsung TV, even though sometimes it wouldn't load up the app in the traditional sense of just clicking on it, you had to go through the profile. It still loaded up all the tiles quickly through the TV natively.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that on the Apple TV box, it's not. But kind of like you got your kind of 24 hours or less than 24 hours of usage. I did too. The wife and I ended up staying up a little bit late watching because we wanted to test out the surround sound experience along with how delayed it is with the TV because there might be a little bit of delay.
Do you connect it to the HomePod Mini behind you too?
We did not. It naturally, because I've got, with my smart home, I've set up different rooms and all that, and my kitchen's right next to the living room where we have the TV, and that's where the HomePod Mini lives, but we got the two regular big HomePods behind the TV. We just decided...
You could play your movies in the kitchen on that speaker at the same time.
That'd be interesting, but we found at least queuing up, I think we watched the fight scene in Shang-Chi on the bus. And then also we watched the end part of Endgame with, I think, all the way from Thor, Iron Man, and I guess spoilers, Thor, Iron Man, and Cap fighting Thanos all the way to the end where it ends with Cap and Peggy dancing and all that. The surround sound was fantastic, even though the speakers were only like 4 feet away from each other on the home entertainment system that we have. It was still amazing. Like, I think the scene where Falcon flies around Cap after coming out of the portal, or maybe when all the portals are appearing or wherever.
Can hear it.
You can literally, maybe it was just me being immersed or whatever, but like it felt like there's portals opening up around me, or Falcon was flying around me. It was actually pretty good for speakers behind a TV close together. It felt very surrounded. It felt it was a great experience with that, and that's the only testing I've had recently. I think I did queue up a YouTube video or two, and it didn't sound bad, but it is different sounding because it's not coming from the TV and it's not as directed. It's definitely trying to figure out left channel, right channel, and how things are coming through and all that, which has been interesting and fun, but I'm more intrigued with how far it can go and whether I might need to move my HomePods to get a better audio experience.
Maybe.
So
I bet they're probably fine where they are. I was really shocked with how loud it can get just with one. I do not have any desire to get a second one. I just have the one, and it gets, even at like half volume, it was plenty loud for our little living room. So knowing that there's a lot of people with two going at once is like, oh gosh, must be crazy. So next time I'm over, I can't wait to hear it.
I was only cranking it up just to try to figure out
out
if it actually sounds like surround, even though it's coming from basically the same point with how my couch is set up with the TV. But it still sounded good, and it definitely outputs a lot of sound. So definitely a lot more testing to go through.
we've got hardware. Both of us now have hardware from like a year ago. I have a feeling that the reason they did all those sales is because there's a newer one coming later in the year, and I was comfortable with with you getting them just because I feel like the one coming later probably is not going to be that great or that much different. Ming-Chi Kuo just said that it would improve the pricing structure. So it would be great if they did like a dongle or a stick or something, but if I were to guess, they're probably just going to put an A14 chip in one and maybe lower the price a little bit and call it a day. But with inflation the way it is, I don't think we should assume too much on price cuts. So my prediction is it's just going to be the new Apple TV 4K now with A14 chip because nothing else is using A12, so they're just going to get rid of that. So they can say, okay, we don't need to make the A12 chip anymore. Other things, what's using the 14? The 12, I think? Yeah. The iPhone 12s are still using A14, so I think they have a lot of those chips around. But so this is just a manufacturing choice that they're going to try to brand as an upgrade. It's just going to be like, we have graciously decided to put the A14 chip in here, but what's that actually going to help with? Apple Arcade, maybe. It plays a spooky, what's it called? Sneaky Sasquatch a little bit better, which I don't plan on playing.
No,
so
Drew, they're unveiling the VR AR headset this fall and shipping and
oh, of course. How
the
could I
TV
forget?
display is coming as well,
yeah,
along with the
Apple
right.
Glass.
Well,
AirPods Pro Max with 2 with I don't know.
8
get a
different
headset
If the
series.
TV
Yeah.
if Apple makes a dedicated TV, that would be great, but I also believe it will cost at least $4,000, probably more, and I would not be interested anyway because I'm happy with the current panel. And what was funny was during the stream I was trying to hide the Apple TV box and make the cable management all pretty, and then she came home and my wife came home and looked at it and she was like, "Where is the TV box?" And I was like, "I hid it down here." And she was like, "Oh, you should just put it up front so we can see it." I was like, "Oh." Okay, so she's fine with it being out in the open. So it's right next to the HomePod now. We have our perfect little Apple shrine for everyone to bow before when they walk in the house.
Have a little
And,
bit of incense right
hell,
next to it.
Steve Jobs.
But I'm just so grateful that Mike hooked me up. Thank you. And also that we don't have to wait so long for the Roku to load and that the HomePod has purpose. But there will probably be an A14 chip Apple TV in the fall. Maybe, Randy, you could get that one. If you're thinking
Another
you
TV.
want tvOS in the future. Or
What'd you say,
if
Mike?
the Sony UI starts to bug you or something, or you want
said another
HomePod
TV.
connectivity, I don't know.
You already got
I
Sony.
saw. I was never. Let me rephrase. I will never. There we go. That one. Oh, this age like sour milk, right? I will never pay $4,000 for a TV. I was fine with my dinky little 55-inch, you know. But.
And hey, you know what? That one was great. We watched some stuff when we visited
Yes,
you
we
on
did.
that TV.
Love
it was
that.
fine.
It's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with a small 55 inches is fine. I'm 55 inches.
That's what we have, and it's 4K. And I don't. I've looked at other TVs. They don't. I don't
Let me
care.
tell you though, I'll send a photo to you guys. Like I'll put in the group chat. I'll text it to you. Next to my ever so, because I got such a big noggin. Put my head up against that TV, dude. I look like I have that. Remember that scene in Beetlejuice where they sprinkle his head and it goes, "Meow," and it goes really small. That's what I look
Yes.
like next to the TV. And now that I've stared at it, for a little over a week consecutively,
Randy is Beetlejuice.
I can't. Well, looks like I'm next. Hey, you want to go? Come on, let's dance. I was starting to
In the
slip.
pale moonlight.
What did he say? He goes, I'm feeling a little funny. Or something.
I can do all your Michael Keaton voices.
I know.
Ugh.
I was starting to slip into Alex Jones there for a second. Anyway,
Yeah.
but after having the 85-inch, and looking at it and drooling over it, I can't go smaller. I can't go back. I can't.
Now you're used to it.
I don't have a
understand
TV downstairs. I have a theater.
Right. No,
Your own
85
personal
is
one.
huge. I always thought with our my parents had a 65 inch and I thought that was pretty big. So now you have 85. That's crazy. That's insane.
My
You
my
have to
in-
live there forever now.
my sister-in-law
That's it.
has like 100 or something like that. One of those really old like big
Ugh.
box TV, but it's 100 plus I think inches.
Oh,
It is massive. Like it takes up a wall wherever you put it. They lived, I think, at one point in a similar sized house as you, Drew, and it was
Ugh.
like what was a room became a hallway, and whenever you watched anything, it's just like you're looking at the floor, then looking at the ceiling.
those are structural TVs.
Yeah.
They hold the house together. They are load-bearing television sets. You can't move those. I mean, those sound crazy. I already don't want to move my current TV just because we mounted it to the wall. And after we did that whole process, I was like, no, when we sell this place, they can keep it. I don't care. I'll get a new one.
I thought about
Remove.
paying it forward. No. When I leave, I'm taking that sucker.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
You're
take
not paying
I
it
don't know
forward.
what you're going to move it in.
I am not paying it forward.
Cybertruck's not big enough. You'll need a Tesla semi to move that thing.
Or Silverado EV, since you could do 10 feet in that.
Oh, the midgate.
Oh.
Yeah.
How many feet is 85 divided by 12?
7 feet?
Yeah, a little over 7 feet.
It's a
So,
pro-
jeez, that would. That's a big screen. My
That's
God,
a-
you could lay down on it and
Yep.
you wouldn't cover it.
Randy could be on
Diagonal.
TV physically and still fit.
You could be on TV.
Yeah.
I'm
starting to
great.
understand
Well-
this whole metaverse thing. To be honest, the longer I look at it, I'm like,
TV. I get it.
I'm in the metaverse.
I just start starfishing.
Yeah.
Booze from
Into the Randyverse.
That's it.
Well, I think we're all caught up on our TV situation. I haven't spoken with either of you guys about watches recently, but there's been some updated rumors on Gurman talking Series 8. Now they're saying Apple's going to go Pro, and there's going to be an Apple Watch Pro. And because all of the Apple Watch rumors were so accurate last year, we should probably assume they'll be accurate again this year to be safe. And Mike is rocking a Series 5, if I remember
No,
correctly.
I've got the new squared off
And-
one right here.
He got the Series 8.
So that's
Pro.
what it's gonna look like.
Much bigger display.
right? Isn't it supposed to be massive?
5% bigger than this one. So, yeah, just like that. Just like the 5S. Now you look like you're doing your Johnny Depp
It
move
literally,
here.
this is what I'm trying to do. That's exactly what I'm trying to do.
I know exactly what you mean, love.
It's the honest ones
Why-
you gotta watch out for.
Why is
Honestly.
3D Touch gone?
All right. It was my intention to commandeer one of these vessels. I said no lies. I think he's telling the truth. Well, if he was telling the truth, he wouldn't have told us. Unless you thought I was going to be lying when I told the truth when I lied. I was trying to do
Of course, the Pro chips are only the most pro on the Pro iPhone. No, some kind of Depp line.
But you're not heard of me. I was trying to do the Johnny Depp, like, oh, we're going to talk about watches and reliability of.
We've heard of M1 and M1 Pro and M1 Max and M1 Ultra. Get ready for M1 Megapint. That's the next step above Ultra.
Megabyte.
Do you feel.
Oh, brother.
I feel like Apple Watch Sports Edition 2.0 / rugged / whatever edition's gonna be.
What's his name?
That's his name. I will
Yes.
say I'm not sure what you guys think, and to be honest, so I don't know what your stances are, but I think it's a load of malarkey.
It's all made up.
Eh, What are you
The
doing?
Apple
Go.
Watch can be described as with one word. The iPad OS can be described with one word. Because
Da, 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 da. It's gonna excuse me. Oh my goodness.
Sit down. Let me finish.
That made me sweat.
No.
I got a headache from that one.
I'll tell you about them stage managers. There's something else.
Well, when I was a little boy, and they said, young Joey, you're gonna go out there, you're gonna get the Series Edition, because the Edition Series Sports. What are you doing? Come on, man.
And I jumped in the water, and the seaweed was all over the watch. But it still was good.
Then you look a bit of it felt nice, and I was excuse me, come on, man, what are you doing?
I like the Milanese loop, but I got hairy legs. And it keeps pulling out my hair with the Milanese loop. I tell you.
Oh dear, I don't know.
Joe gets
Randy,
his rugged
A
A.
squared off watch would be really neat, in my opinion. I don't know if that would
Do
happen.
you plan on upgrading this year with your phone?
With my that's the thing,
That's
right?
my question. You're upgrading your phone, but will you upgrade the watch as well? Since you got your current watch and phone, I think around the same time.
So the Series 4 or 5, it came out around the same time as 11, so I think that's a 5? Yeah.
Yeah, you're on
Yeah.
the 5.
Yeah.
Same generation.
Watch has been okay. It can't... A day is all it lasts. I put it on at like 6 o'clock or 5:30 or whatever, and around 8:30 or 9 o'clock it's done. It's like low power mode, or you need to not plug me in, but charge me or whatever. I'm like, okay.
Drop me.
I didn't even do anything. Like
Pad me.
pad me.
Padme.
Pad me.
Are you safe? Are you all right?
When the watch battery is low, where is pad? You just drop off the May. Where is charge pad? Is
What?
she safe?
Where is... Wait, Luke Skywalker pulls him away. Where is Palpatine? Is he safe? Is he all right? Father,
You didn't kill the Series 5. You didn't kill the mini iPhone.
I did.
I did.
The Series 5 is not your failure.
Tim Cook.
The iPad Pro is not your failure. I am what remains.
I don't know. I don't know whether I want to upgrade to Series 9, Series 8, whatever this is.
8. We're on 8 now.
Wait,
There could be a Pro
one
version
more.
with a...
Just like the Series
Randy
3
has
was
one more.
discontinued. Because I got one more. All right. I'm
There
out.
you go.
I'm done.
That's
done.
a good one.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'm derailed at this point. I am way off in the Junlin, whatever they call it, the seas of Tatooine. I'm all the way out there now. Junlin, isn't
Oh,
it?
okay.
Juglin? No.
I don't know. I know Randy doesn't like to upgrade watches very often, so I'm guessing that the Series 8 Pro hasn't swayed you, or okay, now his facial expressions tell a different story.
finger
I'm
wag.
sorry
Wait.
for
Yes.
everything.
There we go. I was moving on to dread. You didn't say the magic word.
Bro.
For everything.
Is he thinking?
I'm sorry for everything. I'm sorry. Okay. Never say never, because one thing that Drew often what he does, ladies and gentlemen, is he lives rent free in my head, as he does to some of you, and he puts something so la 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 la.
Zoom in on Randy's brain, and it's me doing.
Put any
Rent
sponge
free in both worlds.
and one thing that you said that it's been bugging me, and I'm just like, dare I say need a sapphire glass.
Ah, I see.
Something happened to my Series 7 that I am just like it's not noticeable when the screen's on, but now I went back to always on display so I don't have to look at it. I got a gash and I don't know how, and I'm sure it has to do with my moving, and I can't unsee it. And every time I look at it, I go, I don't want to play with you anymore. You know, you're
that
old.
exact same thing happened to me when I was moving. Whenever moving, you're going through doorways and you're holding big heavy things and you hit it against doorways and door handles.
I think you guys are doing moving wrong.
I'm trying to see. Yeah, probably. We're trying to save money. I guess I can't. I have gashes on my forearm and legs from things that I didn't even know what I was bumping into with these doorways and hallways and big furniture. And somewhere along the way, a casualty happened. And as much as I love the dark green, like I can't unsee the gash. But when I do always on display, I don't see it anymore. So I
know that feeling. I bought a Series 3 aluminum when it first came out. 3 months later, after the move, it was all scratched and I noticed it. So even though I had just bought one, I bought a steel Series 3 like just a couple months later, just so I didn't have to see the glass anymore.
So that's where I'm at. Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I will wait to see, but I'm not. It's not about the colors anymore. I have now. My next Apple Watch, whether it's this year or 3 years from now, statistically 3 years from now, my next Apple Watch will have sapphire or stronger.
It's decided already.
The fantasy's already been lived out.
Made.
He already had all the green. He had the green phone, the green watch, the green shirt, the green Tesla. He's already lived the
underwear.
fantasy.
What?
Yep.
Wait, what?
What?
Wait, what?
We'll need proof of that. I do think the aluminum looks better.
It does.
I'll be honest. I would buy, if I could get an aluminum Apple Watch with sapphire glass, I would have done it. Like, someone, I was met up with someone in Hawaii and they had a blue Apple Watch and I forgot that one existed. They had the blue Series 6 and I was like, that looks nice.
Because you had the red one.
I want that.
I remember you got the red one. Yeah,
so
yeah.
I really liked that. I found pictures of it the other day. I still really liked it. It was just the bezels. Like, if I could have gotten this design but with red chassis plus sapphire glass, I would have been all over it. But no, even the same price. Like, even if it was no difference in price, I don't like the look of the glossy steel. I still don't.
Yeah.
I'm still not a fan. So they've price locked me with that sapphire, and it sounds like that's what the Series 8 Pro is going to have, is like this flatter glass with a more durable front, which I don't know. In your case, I may be more tempted to recommend you find a refurbished Series 7 that's steel.
Yeah.
I think that might be the better way to go, depending on how you feel about the 8s when they come out. Because I know a lot of people, I think I speak for Nick, he's not here, so I'll weigh in. Nick loved the squared off Apple Watch rumors. He was really pumped
I was
about
right there
all
with
those. And he was super, super disappointed, really bummed out when it didn't happen. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought this design looks better.
Same.
I was like, it's not squared off, but it like the display going over the edges and stuff. I was like, this is so cool, and it may not match the phone, but who cares? Like, my MacBook doesn't match my phone
it did
either.
match the phone just a few months later.
Oh, the green did.
Yeah.
Yeah. The color match. I do have a color match here. They're both graphite, but
you can either be right about the
like,
watch, or you could be Mike and Nick and everyone else who wanted the flat display and be wrong.
Well, if
criticize
they end
me
up
on my
having
dreams.
something flat, how dare you dream such a thing? Yeah, like, even if it turns out to be squared off, I don't think I'll upgrade for that because I don't think it looks better. The one thing that scares me, though, about Mark Gurman saying that they're going to abandon the edition naming, which from a business point makes sense. I don't think that many people were getting the edition.
Yeah.
It looks so similar to the aluminum model, and there's no feature differences. It's the exact same watch, just a different material. So I think from a business perspective, it's very wise and very smart to be like, let's do a pro Apple Watch that actually has features. So you pay more, but you get more. It's not just a material difference. But when he said pro, that hinted at the concept of an Apple Watch getting promotion. And I was like, not yet.
Don't
do this right now.
Don't
Apple.
you give me hope.
Don't you do this, because you know that money just lifts out of my pocket if you say, this has promotion. It's just my wallet flying away. And I'm like, no, come back. It's just going to fly away. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna leave this room and be like, honey, I'm really sorry. Apple put promotion on the Apple Watch. And she's going to be like, why are you sorry? And I'll say, I had to buy it. I can't. I have no other choice. There's no question. Like, and I bought this thinking I could keep it for years. That's why I wanted
The
like
Series
more
7
steel and durable.
is not your failure.
So if it's 60 hertz across the board, don't care. Don't care if there's a new design. Don't care if it's squared off. Don't care if there's a Pro. I don't plan on upgrading. But if there's promotion, I'm going to be out the money. I don't have a choice. There's no
First
way
the
around it.
MacBook Pro, then the car, then the watch. What's next?
USB-C iPhone.
Ooh, yeah.
That would be nice, but I would not upgrade just for that.
An iPad that's
Oh,
actually useful.
I'm almost like,
Your tone did change because we talked about it last year. You said that if there was a USB-C, you're like, that would probably convince me.
Mm-hmm.
no, I said that would tempt me. I didn't say
Yeah,
that would
you did
convince
say.
me.
You said
because
tempt.
it would be the most tempting thing to upgrade for, but I still mostly charge via MagSafe on this. So
No, it's the principle. If you're principal enough to downgrade your iCloud, you're principal enough to have only one cable with you. I know you.
shut up, Randy.
I know you.
I hate when you bring out the principal argument with me, because you know how much I vote with my wallet. Ugh. I hate that. Well, I said I would not upgrade to the 14, but I feel like whenever I upgrade again, I will be able to keep that iPhone for even longer, because once I have Type-C and I don't know, no notch or whatever, it's going to be like even less reason to ever upgrade again until like the battery is dead or explodes, which I've had happen, by the way.
Oh no! You've had an explosion?
Well, not exploding, but
That's
it's
not
expanding. I don't know if you can see it,
Oh, wait.
but
Yeah.
it's
There's
bulging.
some curvature.
I bought
There's
this battery
nothing wrong
bank.
with getting some bulge or curvature. Wait.
Is that lithium swollen, or are you just happy to see me?
Is that a Note
But,
7?
is that a Note 7 in your pocket?
Or are you just...
No, it's just an Apple Pen.
I'm in danger.
Or are you just happy to see me? Just plays the sound. But I'm powering my microphone now off of a battery bank from this new startup company that I really like called Tesla.
Oh, do
It's
they have any
never heard of it.
stocks?
Powerwall Mini.
I might invest in them or
What's
something.
that?
Do they have any stocks? I might invest in them.
I don't know. You should probably short them. It sounds like a good idea.
They
But
must be the same company
this
that left
is
this
a
thing on the
type-
side of the road. Worthless stuff. I don't know why you're using their tech.
Well, it's the only battery bank I have that's no micro USB. This uses micro USB to charge. Even though it has a Type-C port, it won't charge through the Type-C. It can only output through Type-C.
Ew.
Whereas this will give and accept through Type-C. And I used it as a desk ornament for years. Shout out to Nick. He bought me this as a birthday present years ago.
Hey.
And because my microphone battery was swollen, and I also bought this one way back in 2016, but the ports are broken because of stupid USB-A. So I plug in and it doesn't work. It charges, but it doesn't give out a charge. Now I'm using this, so I can charge it off Type-C, and it powers the microphone great. So this is the one Tesla product I'm using on a daily basis. Unfortunately,
Sheesh.
that's the only one.
Does it have 4680s in it?
Yes, obviously.
Exactly
Very
one.
thin somehow.
It's
but
14680.
that would be such a cool battery bank if you could just
Right?
have one cell.
One
Yeah.
cylinder.
That's it.
I
No,
really
I
think
saw a
that's
teardown.
size.
They use polymer pouch cells just like a phone. It's nothing special, but
Polymer.
I'm glad it works.
The polymer
Uh,
of my hand.
If in the polymer of my hand, I got the power. I've got the power.
Anyway,
Anyway.
is
So,
is there a feature on the Series 8 that would get either of you to upgrade over just either keeping your current watch or getting a refurbished Series 7?
sapphire glass.
Yeah. Well, that's obvious. That'll be
I'd say squared off with sapphire glass is my thing
honestly-
right now. My watch is way too
Okay.
scratched up at this point.
So you like the squared off. That's what you want.
Yeah, I'm like Nick. I want square. Give me square. I like simple shapes. Square, good. Wedge shape of truck, good.
Good.
Two boxes next to each other, bad.
shape.
One big triangle or trapezoid boy, good.
I get it. Okay.
If they brought ceramic back,
Oh, okay.
my
Yeah, I liked ceramic.
my wedding band is ceramic, and I
Mm.
want. It'd be really cool to have ceramic. That was the one addition I've been waiting for the longest time to come back. Not this, titanium. It just the concept. It looks better on website than it does in person. I was like, this just
Exactly.
It just
Everything
looks
does.
It looks
dirty.
so much better on the website.
Yeah, this looks like.
That's why we all
dirty
need to live in the
stainless
metaverse.
steel. Speak for yourself, Michael. I live on my TV now.
You live
He just
not in, on.
lays on it.
On it.
On the TV.
On and it's all the
Right.
same. I live on the metaverse. Whatever. It's all the same.
Yeah. I
Ceramic.
forgot about the ceramic.
I would do ceramic. Is it a deal? Like,
Even if it's a lot of money? I think it would cost a lot at this point.
no. If I'm being honest, no. Like, the only reason why I'm entertaining the upgrade is just because of the gash. There's no features that like, oh my god, tell me how long I can hold my breath for. Like, or what's my heart rate? It's cool that's there, but I'm not that.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy for you, Chief. I'm not your Fitbit walking guinea pig.
You're not that guy.
I'm not that guy, Chief. Hey, you're not that guy, pal.
How about Mike? Would you pay a premium for the squared off design? Because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like the Pro will be newer looking, but it will cost like $900 to $1,000. Would you pay that much?
Possibly, yeah. It'd have to have some justification of, it's rhino tough, or whatever. You could get ran over by a train and it's fine. Or something like that. Nah.
It's Rhino.
I don't
Rhino
know.
could hit it.
We brought in a rhino, or the rhino villain from Spider-Man, to hit this watch.
We brought Paul Giamatti on the keynote.
Yeah.
I love the new Apple Watch. It's so strong.
Oh, you guys are so cool. I had some Russian guy, I didn't have no space guys or nothing.
I think
Anyway.
the expensive factor is a little bit daunting, especially if I'm planning. Look,
Yeah.
the main issue is I am definitely getting a new phone. Every single week,
Yeah.
something is going wrong with my 11 Pro, where it's slowing down or not responding or anything like that, which makes me worried because I really need to back up all my photos, and I can't because my iCloud storage is full, and I don't have any storage besides.
Do it on your iMac.
That's what I'm going to do. I just don't have time. Actually, I might have some time today,
okay.
so maybe I'll
Gotcha.
plug in today and do it. But anyways, I'm definitely
iMac
buying a new
sucks
phone. Excuse me? I'm not going to let that go. I'll get back to you on that. But at least with the phone. I'm buying a new phone, which means I don't know how much budget I have for a watch.
iMac.
Now you're going to get talked to as well, Randy. Okay,
No,
all
no,
right, here
no.
we go. Nope. Here we go. We're doing this now.
We're going to have a stern
White
talk.
bezels are fine. They're people too.
I agree.
To be fair, this iMac is the only what or not. It is the way that I am on this podcast in a way where before I was on a crappy little surface tablet or whatever.
I remember when that's how you recorded.
Yeah, it was a crappy camera and it would freeze sometimes. The iMac
It was
does
a
not.
dark day in the Empire.
And I look great. Maybe not me physically, but the picture looks decent with a 180p display or whatever the camera is. It's fine. It works. I don't know. What is this again? What am I? Where am I? Where am I going
Much
with this?
to learn, Padawan.
Well, like me, it has a chin. No. Do I even have a chin?
Okay.
Yeah. It's like me.
It's white.
What the
Ah.
It's white.
White
Yes.
chin.
There we go. It's practically Mike.
You just need to spray paint the whole back of your body green, and you would be an iMac.
And my chin, apparently.
Okay.
Where are you for Halloween? An iMac.
I was the green 24-inch iMac with the 256 gig NAND.
Imagine people dressing up
Specifically.
as their computer for Halloween.
I'm sure it's been done.
You guys have
unfortunately.
derailed me. I don't know. Maybe I would
Anyway,
shell out
you're
money.
getting a new iPhone.
Yeah. Episode 200, everyone. They drove Mike insane.
That's the goal, I think.
But yeah,
We're just trying to make.
I'd possibly go
Logo
for.
make me
I'd possibly go for a watch. I don't know.
Okay.
I think
Do you have a budget in mind?
900 sounds like a decent price. I totally forget what I paid for my Series 5, but 900
900.
Is yours aluminum?
is the aluminum with the very wonderful glass that gets scratched all the time.
430.
430? That's how much it costs? Okay. Well,
Maybe 400.
Well, he has this larger size, so probably like 500, I think.
from where I'm going, from scratched up aluminum rounded edge thing to something a little bit more squared off and has better glass,
Okay.
I think is a justification for me to upgrade because I work with horses. I work outside. I've been working tirelessly every day on my garden.
Without tires.
Without tires. No tires, but tirelessly. Yes. On the garden.
Tirelessly.
I do need a little bit more rugged watch for the things I do around
Okay.
my house. So I could justify the purchase.
I think Nick does too.
Yeah.
Nah,
Nick could justify that.
he just, take pictures of Starship. Definitely needs the $900 rugged Apple Watch that can survive a rhino.
He's hard on his watches, though. He loves to throw his tech, as we remember. He is. Yeah. Me and Randy will never forget. Since it's episode 200, we should tell this story.
Is it just
You
roasting
should
Nick
tell
time?
it, Randy.
Well,
No, it's hilarious.
Drew and I were exposed to the dark side of Nick.
Did he have cookies?
No, worse. He had a temper tantrum. No, he wasn't even a tantrum. So
He was excited.
he was so excited that you could confuse his excitement for temper tantrum. We get to Drew's old office that he had.
I'm afraid in your anger.
Where's my AirPods 1? Is it safe? Is it
No, remember,
all right?
he ordered Gen 2 and
He
had
did.
it shipped to me because
He
he
did,
was
'cause we were
you
gonna
guys
be
were
there.
visiting.
So we get to Drew's office, and we go into the old game room for the gaming channel, and that's also Double Down as that's where the computers lived. So we're just unboxing,
Yeah.
and in a fit of excitement, Nick is old school Nick. Oh my god! I can't wait! Oh my god! I can't wait! So he starts opening the box and he just starts. He gets so excited. He grabs the case and he takes them out and he puts his new AirPods in with it, closes it. He's like, oh, yes, yes. And then he grabs the old one. It's like, I don't need you beesies anymore. And he just throws it as hard as he can on the ground. Ground. Hits the floor so hard. It ricochets back
And
up.
this was like very, very thin, like if you remember school growing up, very thin layer of carpet and just cement underneath.
It was
So
better
it was
off-
like the type of carpet that could shatter an iPhone
It
if you
is-
dropped on it. Like, it was really hard. And he just
I-
full speed.
I know pavement that's softer than your office space that you had there. And Nick, full speed ahead, is like, I don't need you, beesies! And he just throws them. And for our YouTube watchers, it comes right back up like a
They're
basketball.
bouncy.
I was like, oh, the old AirPods are bounce. They're bounceable. No one ever tried. So he threw it so hard, it comes right back up, and it just explodes. It goes everywhere. And Drew and I are like, whoa. Nick's like, what, guys? What? They're fine. They're just stupid.
Right.
They're fine. They're just stupid
We all-
Gen 1 AirPods. Who cares?
If I remember correctly, we were dead silent. I remember both of us like wide-eyed. We're just like, what just happened? Because we're like we baby our tech. We're so gentle and we're so careful with everything. And Nick just at full speed,
I keep
and they
the original
flew up in the air. I think they
wrapping.
hit the ceiling,
I like to put everything. Oh, it hit
and
the
we were
ceiling.
just.
Hit the ceiling. It hit it.
And Nick was like, "What's wrong? What?"
Why are you guys staring at me?
It
Why are you
bounced so
booing me? I'm
hard.
right.
It hit so hard. It hit the Tesla parked outside. It just went so. It went through. It went through physics.
Ricocheted.
It made a solid, a liquid, and it went right through it, and just.
It's like the vibranium shield.
That's it.
Just
He just
bounced.
threw. And because he was just so. And Drew and I are
That
like,
was a pretty small upgrade. The only difference was the charge case had a light on the outside, and you could put it on a wireless charger. That was the upgrade. He was so pumped.
Nick
He was
doesn't
so
like.
excited.
I
Gives
guarantee
Nick,
Nick doesn't
M2
like that we.
MacBook Pro M1. Let's go frisbee golfing with this thing.
I guarantee you.
Although he shouldn't do that too soon, because read and write speeds.
Ooh.
I know. Nick doesn't like it when we tell that story, but I
can't
told
stop
him
us here.
to his. I told him to his face, so it's not saying anything behind his back. I said, I will never let this down. I will never let you live this down. That
He knows.
He knows. But he goes, okay, guys, it was one time, and I'm like, no, Nick,
He always says that was one time.
not just one time, but it was the time.
The time.
It
Correct.
was the time.
We miss you, Nick.
Yeah, I
We
know.
miss you.
We all miss you. It's
We
not,
hope you can make it on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite a story, but needless to say, he wants the squared off Apple Watch, and he would be the kind of guy to buy the Pro with the new design. So he's gonna chuck the. Oh my God, Mike scares me when he does that.
I've got
Imagine
on a
if you
looper,
didn't
good.
have a good grip. Imagine if the little connector just detached when you chucked it.
It's not going to.
I remember
pretty
one
locked
time.
on
Hurts.
there.
I remember one time
Makes me so nervous.
I got featured on one of the BuzzFeed articles for doing
Oh yeah.
I don't speak broke joke because you can embed the text, and
That made an article.
it made it to an article because they're like, oh, people are gonna
Yeah.
think my 15 minutes of fame above anything else. No, I was on BuzzFeed, guys. Screw you guys, I'm going home. But I
It's like saying I was viral on MySpace.
hey man,
I got
MySpace was a big deal
179
for us.
upvotes on the Tesla Motors Reddit page. So
In your face.
hold your
But-
applause. I'm
So
I have the most followers on
When-
Truth Social.
when I made when I made that post with the text on it, I also remember doing an encompassing like a companion video about just doing it like a non TikTok where I was like
Yeah.
oh, there's new AirPods out, which means I don't want you anymore or whatever, and I just drop them and I
Yeah.
flinch and I
Yeah.
think about how I even set up the camera, and I had all these pillows on the floor, so when I drop it, it lands ever so delicately, and even then, I did not want to go, ew, these are the old ones,
Yeah.
and I didn't want them.
skydivers
And
can
I
land
think-
on those pillows and be fine.
Yes, but I was still
Yes.
so babying it, and I'm just having my PTSD flashback right now, where school carpet, hard cement floor, Nick throwing his case, and it just. I've never seen something. It's like watching a beautiful train wreck. I saw AirPods explode in front of my eyes. And if I can sum up Nick's energy, I will forever revert to that story. Because even me imitating him right
Yes.
now, I went down like this and I smacked my finger on my desk so hard that my index finger is starting to swell.
Ooh.
So
Oh, no.
you suck,
I'm
Nick.
sorry.
There we go. He said the line,
Did
Bart.
this to me. He said it. I hope I get to see you both at some point this year.
No.
Me and Nick are trying to arrange a meetup time, and I hope I get to see you too.
No.
If you don't come
It's
to,
been too long.
I'll talk to you offline. I don't want to say it on the podcast.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But I want to make it happen if possible.
Yeah.
I
You're
really
too
do.
far away from me.
We were.
I can't do that.
I know. Me and Mike. It's just not even worth it. But the last. Do you guys remember episode 100?
No, I wasn't.
I
there.
remember. I
I know Mike
remember
does it.
Nick. One of his opening, if not opening, at one point, I remember Nick saying,
Oh wait, I was there.
I can't believe anybody would watch this crap," and I laughed so hard at that.
I was
there's
there.
There's 100 of
Yeah,
these.
You
I'm
guys
with
did a
you.
live stream. Right?
That's right. We were live.
Yeah.
And we were at Randy's place.
Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, I tuned into that thing.
That was fun.
That was boring. No,
I
wait,
would
what?
love to do every episode 100 is like a meetup, but that would be very, very difficult to make happen right now with Randy's move and with my trip and with we've equally spaced each other out. Who's closer to Nick? Is it me or you, Randy?
It might be me because
like-
he's on the east side of Texas.
Okay,
That's
Yeah.
so
east.
just a little bit, but all of us are over 1,000 miles apart except Mike.
Stop reminding me.
It's very far.
I
Hello.
don't like talking about
So-
it.
I'm on the moon.
Hopefully, we can get everyone together for episode
1,000.
300 or 1,000.
We'll do
Yeah.
it like
1,000's a big enough.
one. Well, you guys didn't meet up on one, but there's one, then 10, then 100, then it's 1,000.
If we
And then
made it to
10,000.
1,000 episodes, that has to have some type of like Joe Rogan type of significance, where
So we do DMT.
Then it really
hello
feels
friends. Oh,
like- See you later.
Oh god.
I was talking more about reaching out to Alex Jones, asking if he wants to come on, and he
dear.
just
We need to end this now.
Tim
Yeah, he
Cook.
probably loves Apple. He probably would love it. No, but I've enjoyed the first 200 episodes. I hope we can keep it running for another 200. One story I'll share since we were talking about watches. I was going to share this. I went to the dentist. That's why I was driving the pickup truck, and my teeth were fine, but he said my tonsils are very big, and that I should get them looked into because they were nearly touching. And he said, and I said, like, well, what's the problem? And he said that it can interfere with how much oxygen you can get. It interferes with breathing, which is why you should look into that. And you might have to get like a sleep apnea machine and that kind of thing. So I was curious
CPAP.
if it was going to be an issue. He wasn't, obviously he's a dentist. He's not an expert on the, but basically I'm using the blood oxygen level checker now for real. So
Wow.
I rescind my hatred of how stupid the health sensors are because I'm sleep tracking. Because what he said is dangerous is if you're falling asleep at night and you're not breathing enough, that can cause problems. So I'm now checking my breathing rate and I'm checking my blood oxygen regularly. So I pulled the health app out of utilities.
Oh no!
Because I wasn't
The
using
humanity.
the health app for anything. So now I wear my watch to sleep. I have the sleep focus set up. I check to see how I'm breathing. I check to see my blood oxygen levels, and then I charge it in the morning. So my health data has absolutely gone up. And the good news is everything is fine. My breathing is normal. My blood oxygen is at
Good.
healthy levels. But I was recommended to check it and be careful. So I've only
Wow.
checked. I've only been doing it for like 4 or 5 days. But I want to have lots of data. I want to have like months of data to see if there's any issues, to see if I need a machine or the tonsils need to be looked at or worked on or whatever. So I'm sorry that I doubted the blood oxygen level sensor, everybody. And I'm sorry that I hated on sleep tracking, because now I'm actually using it
Episode 200.
daily.
Tailosive issues apology for health tracking utilities
Issues
on
of
watch.
retraction.
I take that back.
Well,
It's not useless.
I don't know when you and Nick specifically started the podcast in December of
I
2017.
can figure it out.
I know it was in December of 2017 because I looked at Spotify and all that. But
Okay. I don't know when you started on this day.
well, I looked up. It's basically 1,600 and something days that it's taken y'all to get to 200 episodes.
Wow.
Whether
Almost
you're-
5 years.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if
Wow.
we're still wow. We still have this
Wow.
going.
Wow.
Wow.
If we still have this thing going another 1,600 days. And what
That
we'll
would
be
be
talking about
fascinating.
that if we're still talking about HDMI 2.1 in some manner.
That's the running theme of my life.
We don't get to choose
write
the
a book, I'll
legacy. Yeah. If you
Yeah.
write a book, we don't get to choose the legacy that's associated to you. That's just, you will forever be HDMI 2.1. And Nick
I'll
will
never
forever
forget
be.
the day where I was when they announced HDMI.
They had to stay home from school.
Where were you? It's on every channel.
Hashtag where
They
were
grounded all the airplanes.
Little on the nose.
you? All the TVs had the warning message like they have.
Yeah.
CNN started the breaking news, but it just never.
HDMI 2.1. It's here.
It's happening.
Uh,
Shelter in place.
I got the alert on my phone. Oh my god. All right. Well, this is quite a fantastic episode 200.
Thanks for having us.
I'm surprised my MacBook didn't deliver while we were recording. It's out for delivery.
I'm
right
actually
now,
really
so-
disappointed.
Yeah. we'll have to talk about it next week.
I guess so.
Dang
My
it.
disappointment is immeasurable.
Whoever's free. Any last words, gents, before we all die?
How can I follow that?
I always say like final words for the show, but then I was like, it kind of sounds like I'm saying last words, like it's over.
If life is fair, why do roses have thorns?
That's a good point.
That is a good point.
Hey, Apple Pencil 1.
That's my final word.
That's his final point.
Ah!
His last
Oh,
point
you.
is 120 hertz.
This was my last episode on.
Thank you all
Okay,
for 200 episodes.
Air Power's dead. Marquez, come on the show. I'm worried about the Cybertruck. You suck, Nick. And here's the 200 more.
sucks.
The Pixel sucks. Thank you for the 200 episodes.
We're Steve Jobs.
Bye bye.